Justin Bieber's fans fear that their idol is cursed. When the singer revealed his recent diagnosis, the concerns of his supporters intensified.
I have this syndrome called Ramsay Hunt Syndrome.
As a result, Justin is suffering from facial paralysis and risks going deaf without proper treatment. His career and normal life are seriously at risk. It's the latest in a string of Bieber's struggles, as he seems extremely unlucky. Only he doesn't think so. He's also not afraid of another challenge. Justin believes that God will rescue him, as it happened many times before. And the singer is sure that all the bad things in his life are consequences of his faulted faith. But what makes Justin forget about God? And what brought him back to his beliefs? Justin Bieber's early rise to fame was a total shock to his Christian family. When a top record executive called Scooter Braun stumbled across a video of Justin singing, he was blown away. However, when Braun tried to offer the boy a record deal, Justin's mom, Mallett, wanted to turn it down because Scooter was Jewish. Mallett was ecstatic that her son was getting noticed, but she really wished it had been by a Christian label. She was concerned that her son's career would distract him from his faith. Eventually, her own church elders encouraged her to let Justin take the chance. But did Mallett ever regret this decision? Working with his new mentor, Justin moved from Canada to California. He quickly skyrocketed to fame and became a global teen idol. And that's when he started to forget about God. I went from a 13-year-old boy from a small town to being praised left and right. Everyone did everything for me, so I never learned responsibility. I became resentful, disrespectful, and angry. Justin's fans did more than encourage and adore him, they worshipped him. His millions of followers actually started calling themselves beliebers, and this gave the singer a lot of influence and power. And for Bieber, it was also incredibly destructive.
If you start taking yourself more seriously than you do God, then there's a problem.
Every time he stumbled along his spiritual path, something awful happened. Fame meant a constant battle with anxiety and depression. Fans and media expected so much from the young star that he started to doubt himself. Without religious guidance, Justin stepped on the path of harmful habits.
First time I smoked weed, I don't suggest this, but I was 13.
The musician went from teen heartthrob to a bad boy. He started making headlines for inappropriate behavior at the height of his fame, and everyone was watching. Fans initially saw him being childish and cheeky, like when he visited the Anne Frank Museum and shared a strange opinion about Jewish Holocaust victim Anne. In the guest book, Justin wrote, "Anne was a great girl. Hopefully she would have been a believer." Later, things got worse. His religion really fell to the wayside.
I had faith about I believe Jesus died on the cross for me, but I never really implemented it.
Bieber was spotted intoxicated and acting up in public several times, including egging his neighbor's house. His followers even saw the singer's leaked nudes twice. But worst of all, the whole world saw him arrested for driving under the influence and assault. Justin's behavior upset and disappointed his fans, and many of them were totally fed up with the star. As a result, over 200,000 people signed a petition to have the Canadian singer deported from America. Yet, while Bieber was making headlines for his antics, nobody knew just how bad things really were. The musician could no longer control his battle with addiction.
My security and stuff were coming into the room at night to check my pulse.
Despite this, he was still too ashamed to ask for help. Justin didn't think he'd earned it because he was so blessed in his career. At the same time, Bieber started to experience major problems with his health.
I feel so all the time.
For months, the pop star was in and out of doctors' rooms looking for a solution. He was told he had Lyme disease, mono, burnout, and exhaustion, but none of the treatments helped. These never-ending struggles nearly broke Justin. The musician admitted that his fame, power, money, and even his fans didn't make him feel better. He was still in pain, with a lot of unresolved issues. Bieber didn't feel like he could change, and he definitely didn't feel like he deserved to be loved, even by God. In fact, the music icon was so filled with self-loathing that he honestly thought his 250 million followers hated him too. I just woke up one day and I'm like, who am I? I made every bad decision you could have thought of and went from one of the most loved and adored people in the world to the most ridiculed, judged, and hated person in the world. This realization left Bieber totally bereft. He was depressed and no longer sure he wanted to live. The singer was on the verge of a mental breakdown. Those closest to Justin tried to convince him to get help, and Bieber sought rescue in his relationship with Hailey Baldwin. Justin considered Hailey a literal gift from God. She'd been part of his life for years. Her faith also inspired Justin to finally make a change. So the singer did something he'd never done before: cancelled 14 different tour dates in 2017. Bieber explained that he needed to do some serious work to get his mind, heart, and soul to be sustainable. But to do that, he didn't go to rehab. Instead, Bieber finally returned to the church. The singer temporarily moved in with his friends and Pastor Carl Lentz. Carl hosted Bieber's informal detox, and along with Hailey's support and encouragement, the pastor helped Justin rekindle his relationship with God. Despite the important role his girlfriend played in Justin's life, when he proposed to and married Hailey, the couple faced backlash. Naysayers were pretty skeptical about their rush down the aisle. Rumors circulated that Hailey was pregnant, and a ton of critics declared that the couple were making a huge mistake. Bieber later admitted that his haters were kind of right. Justin revealed that he had no idea what he was getting into. Bieber was raised by a very young single mom who never married his dad. As a kid, Bieber had no example of what a good marriage was. However, he knew he wanted a happy family one day.
I've always had that fairy tale idea of just wanting to have a wife and kids and have a family, and it just has always been attractive to me, the idea of that.
Many of the singer's adoring fans have no idea that he and Hailey almost didn't make it to their second year of marriage.
I remember when I first got married, I hit a little bit of an emotional breakdown because I thought marriage was going to fix all my problems. Wow. And it didn't.
Bieber did manage to get through the rough patch with his renewed faith, and his church guided him to realize what a healthy marriage looks like. It's helped him readjust his expectations and become a better husband. Of course, it's not an easy journey, and apart from his career and marriage, Justin still has to deal with his health issues. But with his faith and Hailey's support, he's sure he'll handle it. Justin is using the lessons he's learned to make up for his past mistakes and to empower others. A lot of people let their past weigh them down, and they think that they're not good enough. But I'm just like, I did a bunch of stupid shit. That's okay. I'm still available to help. It's something we should all remember. Don't let your past dictate your future.